Hey everyone, welcome back to After the Island. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Alex.
And we have Andy with us today.
Woo, welcome.
Thanks, guys, so much for having me on.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Yeah, life's been a little overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm good. I can't complain. Miss Mady is off the show now, and I'm doing real well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, we love that. Well, we're going to get into that.
I know, I'm like, we'll get there, but I don't even know where to start. I guess first.
I'm like, how'd you feel walking into the villa as an OG?
That was the one time I was nervous on the show. Was like the first moment I walked out, knowing that like I was the very first one out, knowing I was an OG. I was nervous seeing like five beautiful girls, so it was super cool though, and an amazing experience.
So, did you apply for the show or did they find you or how did that process work?
Yeah, so they reached out to me very last second. Someone DM'd me late April, and so May was just hectic for me getting everything that I needed to get on the show. So it was very last second. Someone reached out to me via Instagram.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
That's so funny. That's like a lot of people's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the DM and you're like, oh, is it fake? Is it real? And
Yeah.
then you're like, I give it a shot. Maybe not for me, maybe it is. And then you're like, next thing I know, I'm walking out in the first lineup of people.
And I think that was the case for the majority of the people within the villa too. We all asked like, "How'd you get on?" And I think DMs is pretty much everyone just sliding in the DMs now.
I actually think a lot of people applied this year is what Alex and I have been hearing
Mhm.
too, like a good mix. And that hasn't
Really?
been the case in the past. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of a big deal now.
Yeah.
You guys started it off right, so
So I'm trying to think back. So you walk in. Who were you first coupled up with?
Courtney.
Courtney.
I was with Courtney right away.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
we were like, why didn't you guys work out? Did you see the edit they did of you and your mom?
Oh, I
Of how
died.
close you and your mom
I died.
I still have yet to watch any of my parts, to be honest with you, but I've heard how they portrayed me the first episode, that I'm a mama's boy.
It was like
I got
straight
my
to
thoughts
jail.
on it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I guess going back to the question, why didn't Courtney and I work out? I don't know. It's just more of a, we had really good conversations the first day, but her and I just didn't really vibe
Yeah.
on the same wavelength really. So obviously a really beautiful girl, and that's why I chose her. But I don't know, just we didn't really click like that in a romantic way.
You know what was so funny was they showed her in her introduction, and she was like, I just like my turnoff is mama's boys, and then it just edited to you like
Yeah.
talking about how you were a mama's boy, and it was just so perfect.
Oh, her facial expressions too. When you watch that conversation, you're gonna be cracking up. Like, did you notice the way she was reacting to the conversation you guys had about
I mean,
you and your mom?
she gave like a quick little pause, but I just thought it was such a small point too. And apparently they just blew it up the first day of like, we literally talked about it for like 30 seconds. It was the
Yeah.
last thing on my mind.
It's
And
the
then
facial
I get off the
expression.
show and I'm just apparently like America's mama's boy now.
You really
like-
are.
We're going to work on changing that a little bit. Don't get me wrong. No, I love my mom, but not a total mama's boy over here.
That's okay. We understand. We
Yeah.
understand.
We know how that goes.
So
Mady comes in.
yes, before Miss Mady walks in,
Yeah.
and we see that you guys have a connection, but you chose to couple up with Sydney, and you guys had a little sneaky makeout.
This was such a whirlwind. Can you walk us through this?
Yeah, so I guess for me, Mady and I did have a really good connection before I coupled up with Sydney, but I wanted to just like, my thought process going in was I'm gonna, trust my heart, and I'm gonna, if I'm feeling something with somebody, I'm gonna go out there and test it. And so it's a dating show. Sydney and I mentioned back and forth like, hey, we have interest in each other. We'd love to get to know each other more. And so her and I had that conversation before the coupling, and it was pretty telling of like, all right, let's give this a chance. And so I did, and it obviously worked out how it's supposed to work out. Showed me my true feelings for Mady, and Sydney and Isaiah are, we'll see where they're going to be here shortly. But no, I just was following my heart at the time, I guess.
It felt, I was like, Alex and I definitely were watching and we were like, is he being encouraged to make this choice or from like outside
Don't ask that
perspective?
question.
Or
No,
Julia's
you asked
like,
that question,
interject.
Off the okay.
Going back to the situation with Isaiah, how do you think that you would have done anything differently handling the situation, or did you kind of give it the best you could? The bro conversation was really
Bro.
Yeah, the bro down conversation. Yeah. I wish before the coupling, him and I had a couple more conversations. Obviously, every step along the way, when Sydney had a conversation, I did pull him aside and say, "Hey, Sydney and I talked. We do have interest in each other," but it was never along the lines of like, "Hey, we potentially could recouple here." And so when I truly did, I went into that night thinking I was going to couple up with Mady until I had that conversation. So I didn't have much time to pull anybody aside to tell them, "Hey, I actually am choosing Sydney," which I guess it is what it is. But that would be the one thing I wish I handled differently is more upfront conversations. But I did let him know exactly where I was feeling every step of the way. It just my decision was very last second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So going into that, obviously Mady was pretty, I want to say blindsided, but we haven't talked to her yet, so I don't want to put words in her mouth. But your connection was pretty undeniable, and we saw that throughout the show after you guys did couple up. But how did you win her trust back after the recoupling with Sydney?
I think the biggest thing there is you can say whatever the heck you want. It's really putting in the actions. And so, like, I made it an effort to pull her aside for all the chats, whether it's make breakfast or give her a hug whenever I saw her, just little things that she remembers that I really truly do sorry, that I really truly do care about her. I think was more important to me after recoupling, just showing that I truly am in this for her. And my words are just, yeah, I'm saying it, but I also mean it. And I'm going to show you.
What moment did you and Mady finally open up to each other?
Yeah, I think for myself, it was a couple days after the recoupling. I don't remember exactly the conversation, but I knew I needed to pull her aside. I had a conversation with Zeta, and she pulled me aside and just asked me exactly how I'm feeling. And I told her, I'm like, I'm not feeling this with Sydney, and I really do miss Mady. And she was mentioning in my ear of, I think Mady might be feeling the same way. And so right away after that, and I knew I want to have this conversation even without Zeta saying this, but I went out there and I just put it all out there for her of, you know what? Yeah, I don't regret this decision, but it's showing me truly how I care about you. And that connection that we did have before the coupling is genuine. And I really, truly do care about you. So I think once I had that conversation with Zeta, then her and I really kind of were able to open up and share and get our guards down a little bit more. So a couple days after that recoupling.
Zeta needs to be put on the payroll for being
I
everyone's
know.
therapist.
She just like everyone consults in her for any decisions they're about to make.
Yeah.
She is literally the mom of the village. I freaking love her.
She's a star. I mean, we are
Yeah.
just huge fans of her. Going into when you got eliminated, were you shocked?
I was more shocked to be in the bottom two, to be honest, because I did feel Mady and I had a good connection going on, and I did not feel that we deserved to be in the bottom two couplings. Looking back at it now and how we were portrayed on TV, maybe I understand a little bit more. But actually, in the villa, her and I had probably one of the strongest connections there. But once I actually got there, and it was me versus Timmy, I knew that honestly I didn't stand much of a chance. Timmy and Zeta were starting to reconnect there, and so even before Sarah Highland announced who was going to be voted off, I said, "Go get your girl." Even before she said my name, so I kind of knew that it was going to be me.
Yeah, we were kind of shocked that it came down to you two.
I know. We thought it was going to go a different way too.
Yeah, especially because we started to see your and Maddie's relationship develop and blossom, but it was like almost too late.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think the viewers got to see as much as they needed to. You know what I mean?
I also think you started to get this edit where you came across, no offense, kind of like a douchebag for the first couple episodes. And then it was like, now let's turn him into someone that really grows on all of us and that we all come to like watching. And at first I was like, oh yeah, Andy is not one of my favorites to watch. And then I was like, he can't leave. Like he's one of my favorite people here to watch. And I was so bummed. And I would have liked to have watched you and Mady for a lot longer. And so it makes me think too, had the whole Sydney situation never happened, I feel like you and Mady might still be there going strong as one of the top couples, if not the top couple right now. So it's pretty crazy to think how everything could have played out.
And I definitely do see it being that way too. And I'm not going to sit here and regret my decisions. Like, I just followed my heart in the villa, but I do see it as, again, her and I had probably one of the strongest connections when we got voted off. So when I got voted off. So yeah, I was definitely bummed to leave the villa, but now that we're outside in the real world and we actually get to test reality, this will be fun to test.
So going off of that, where do you guys stand right now?
Yeah, her and I have been chatting a little bit. We finally got on the phone yesterday for the first time, actually on a phone call. I will be flying out to Oklahoma most likely within the next couple weeks. I'm going to go visit her, and so we're definitely going to try this out, see if we can do this in reality, in real life. But yeah, that's definitely the first step, is going to Oklahoma, visiting her, and then I already know there's plenty of opportunities. Of Minnesota Vikings have reached out to me, and I have people out in the NFL that want us to come to games. So I have a ton of opportunities for us to kind of travel the U.S. and get her to Minneapolis. So I do see us hopefully making this work, and I'm excited about it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited
That's
to see
awesome.
This. That's
I am
great.
a big fan of football, so I'm excited for you.
Did you get to see the episode 2 of Mady deciding to dump herself from the island and say, like, oh, I'm gonna go find Andy now, like, I hope he's waiting there? Were you able to watch that?
This is a perfect timing for you to ask this question, actually. So I watched it yesterday. Last night is the first time I watched it. The night it actually happened, my Instagram was blowing up of like, did you see the episode? Mady misses you, go get your girl. I'm like, what is going on? What happened? And so I finally got around to it last night, and honestly, like, I may have shed a tear or not. It was probably one of the most romantic and like sweet things, and I don't expect anything less from Mady. She is the most, I cannot say a bad word about her. She is the sweetest girl I've ever met. And so definitely to see that actually for myself now, like it felt really good, and knowing that like we really do have that true genuine connection. Because selfishly, like, I wanted her to leave the villa single because I was hoping for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finally got to see it last night.
Did you tell her anything? This is just like me being a romantic freak. When you were eliminated, did you like tell her anything that we didn't see on the TV? Like when you were saying bye?
Honestly, not a whole lot, other than the fact that I truly cherished and loved our time together, and you need to do what's best for you, because that's what I did on my time in the show. I tested the waters, and so I wanted her to do the same, and I didn't want to have her feel like there's any sort of obligation to me on the outside. And if she wanted it to work on the outside, I didn't say I was going to be there, but I was hoping for it. So I didn't say anything that was going to be condescending of like, hey, you shouldn't do anything on the show or it's going to hurt us. Just kind of wanted to let her know that I really, truly cherished our connection when I was in there.
That's very mature of you.
Yeah. Were you nervous when she went on a date with Jared?
No. To be honest, not really. I was
oh
pretty
my
confident.
gosh.
I was confident in her and I, and like, no, I really didn't have a whole lot of worries.
He said, oop.
Oh.
we did not hear you say that one time on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Because apparently they played that up really big.
I didn't notice it.
Which I know I definitely said it once or twice
sure
every hour there, but they just never wanted to share it. So
oh my
Not every hour.
It's all right.
Every hour on the dot.
I'm a total Minnesotan, so you'll hear it over time. Of me slipping up opes and you betchas and gollies and all these whatever phrases.
Oh, you betcha. You need to watch Fargo.
Oh gosh, that's on the agenda for tonight.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I will tag you when I'm watching it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Next question for you is, what was the biggest lesson or takeaway that you had from being inside the villa?
Yeah, it's okay. I've always been a people pleaser. And so I guess to put your emotions and yourself first is really important, and to be vulnerable, because it's something where I've really struggled to put my walls down in the past. And so Mady did that really fast for myself. So it's okay to be vulnerable and show your emotions. It doesn't make you any less of a man to truly share how you're feeling. So to not always be a people pleaser and put yourself first was probably the biggest thing I learned in there, though.
That's a great lesson.
It really
Love Island really teaches you a lot.
It does.
It really does.
In ways you don't expect it to.
Mm-hmm. So another question for you. Who was your best guy friend in the villa? We saw that you and Isaiah like obviously had a little scuffle, but we saw him literally attack you when you
He
got
was so
eliminated.
sad when you were leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zay and I mean, I don't think you guys saw it, but I did pull him aside for a conversation and we cleared the air. And so him and I, the last few days I was actually there, we're pretty good friends. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm excited for him to get out and just kind of chat it up with him. Jesse was a really good friend of mine in there. And Bryce, one of the newcomers, when I was only in there for like 2 days when he was there, but Bryce was also a really good dude. But all the guys, let's be real, they're all good dudes. And I'm excited for them all to get out and meet back up with them all.
I love that. So you don't think that any of them are in there to play a game?
From the guys of when I was in there with, no.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of the newbies.
Right. I'm trying to think who would have been like a newbie.
Well,
So
all the Casa
Jared
More
was-
boys.
Yeah,
Oh, Jared,
and then
yeah.
everyone
Jared was new.
from Jared.
Did you meet Chaz?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
And then what about the girls? Who were your close friends out of all the girls?
Honestly, Courtney surprisingly was one of my best friends in there. Like after that first night, we had the conversation of like, yeah, this is probably not gonna be anything romantic. And then her and I just really did have a really good friendship connection throughout the villa. Also Deb, everyone just gets along really well with Deb. So those two definitely were ones I chatted a lot with and got a good connection with. And then of course Zeta. I mean, come on. I was just with her. I'm gonna name them all. I love
You're
them
like
all.
literally everyone.
I think this happened on one of our other interviews, but were you the Islander that said when Chaz and Bria came in, oh, they look alike? And everyone was like, yeah, that was you. And everyone was like, no, they don't. And then you're like, I knew
I
it.
called out brother sister vibes like the second they sat down. I'm like, this is giving total I mean, like they look alike. They're from New Jersey. I'm like, okay,
What
but
are the
how
odds?
weird is that to be on the show with your sibling? But you know what? More power to you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'll remain silent.
This is hilarious.
Good idea.
I thought
Yeah.
that was so funny. I wish they showed the moment you saying that.
I know.
'Cause we didn't
I
get to
don't
see
think. Yeah, I
that.
don't think we saw that. Next, what's your favorite moment?
That's a good question. There's embarrassing ones, of course. There was one. I'm just getting with the embarrassing ones because they're more funny.
I want to
There
hear
was
it.
one coupling. It actually might have been in the one with Sydney. That I didn't realize it, but my fly was down the whole time. And so I got back at the end of the night. I'm like, that was down the whole night. So
No.
that one, and then the second I walked in when I was picking Courtney, the first word that came out of my mouth, I literally stood up there, looked at them all. I said, "The most Minnesotan golly you will ever hear in your life," and all five of them just started laughing. And so they actually cut it. They cut it up. Obviously, it's like you pick the girl and then you chat, but it's really you chat and then you pick the girl. And so I gave the biggest golly, got the feedback from all the girls. Deb gave me the whole like his accent is just a no-go. That's why I didn't step forward. So I was like, what an ego killer right here. Like starting off the show strong.
You were the first guy in, right?
Yeah, I was the very first one.
At least people step forward for you. It's usually a hard no for the first guy.
Yeah, I appreciate serenity. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know. You killed her ego.
Yeah, you did. We just spoke to her and she was like, I would have stepped forward for Jesse actually, but Andy had just shot my ego and I couldn't have it be shot twice.
I know. And that was one couple I would have loved to see more of, to be honest with you. It was like Jesse and Serenity, because I think they would have been really good together. So
yeah,
sorry, Serenity.
Yeah.
Well,
too.
Tyler and her, we're hopeful for them.
I was just in New York with her, and I've been hearing some behind the scenes of them meeting up soon. So I'm definitely excited for them.
Oh yes, I love the post villa.
Same.
Meetups.
It's the best part.
I live for it.
It's the best part.
Okay, what other funny stories do you have for us that we might not have seen on TV?
Oh boy, funny stories. I mean, there's just so many of I guess of other people. I don't think people actually truly saw who Tyler's personality. This dude never stopped talking about how bloated he was, how much he couldn't poop, Or like he was the funniest dude ever. And so like he is just like was one of those guys that you just love to be around because he was just always made you laugh. And so like he
Oh
was just
my
always
gosh.
talking about how much like he needed probiotics and
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
otherwise like
I'm dying.
there's this one scene when I had a moth fly down the back of my shirt and like I like am terrified of bugs and like I knew there was a bug down there and I just completely it was like after a night and I just ripped my shirt off, ran around the villa looking like a little girl. And so I'm glad they didn't air that because that would have been super embarrassing.
Oh my God,
No,
I wish
that's
they
hilarious.
did. I wish they aired both of those things.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh my god, I wish I could have
Oh my God.
heard Tyler talking about him being bloated and needing
Oh
his
my
probiotics.
gosh.
That's hilarious.
God, I wish we knew that before we talked to it.
I know. I wish I could have asked him about it.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Like, Nurse Jamie, we need our probiotics.
Oh my god.
This was a huge question. What was your least favorite thing about being inside the villa?
The bathroom situation, other the fact that like you get to be there for a long time and it does get really condensed in there and feels really small.
Mhm.
But we did have a lot of bathroom problems, and so using the little porta potties in back when nobody knows how to flush toilet paper was definitely gross.
Oh god.
It was
That
super
is
gross.
rough.
That terrifies me.
That's so.
You're like just meeting these people and you don't trust this toilet. That's terrible.
And we had some drainage problems with the showers.
Oh,
And
gross.
so like one of the first few days there, like the girls showered before us before the night out. And then there was just a huge, literally a puddle of like
Yeah.
this deep, and it was filled with bronzer. So it's brown water. And we're all just like
Bronzer
stepping
is
in this in like brown water, all the guys. And it was one of the grossest things. You know, it's just bronzer and soap, but like,
Oh my god.
Your feet's coming out like orange.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
my goodness.
unbelievable. That's hilarious. I
It's
feel
so
like our
funny.
bathroom situation, we just all started like peeing in front of each other. We were so over it.
Yeah, we
Well-
got over that quick. But for the first part, scary.
It is scary.
I would take the longest showers and I would have other Islanders just yelling at me to get out of the shower.
Well, and like that's like your only time too, truly of like when you can get like some alone time and some space. And so like I would take advantage of it too. It's like when can you truly get time in there to think about like your own emotions and feelings instead of talking about with somebody else? And so like either the shower or just sitting on a porta potty bathroom was like where I would do it. Why is Andy in the bathroom for like 30 minutes? Oh, he's thinking.
They're like, Andy to the beach hut. Where is he?
Literally, where is Andy? I haven't seen him on the camera in 30.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so funny.
I think the one question we ask everyone is, what's next for you? What's Andy up to?
Yeah, I guess back to status quo for me. I would love to get back on TV within the next year. I'm not going to lie to you. Whether it's HGTV of bringing my business now into TV. Otherwise, I would love to do a competition, the challenge, Amazing Race, something like that. I would love to get back on TV, but right now, just back into real estate, buying my place right now. Actually, I was on showings this morning, so I'm writing an offer right after this, actually, on a place.
Congrats.
And yeah, just thank you. And then just kind of getting back into the swing of things at this point, trying to get back into some sort of routine. Still, my sleep schedule still messed up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would love to get back on TV though within the next year.
Oh, well,
fun.
we will hope to see you on something.
I would love that for you.
Drop your socials for everyone to follow you. Everything. This is your time. Go.
Yeah, follow me on Andy Voyen. I think on all platforms. Voyen is V as in Victor, Oyen, IG, and TikTok is pretty much my main two.
Cool.
Awesome.
And we can't wait to hear more about you and Mady. We're talking to
Yeah.
Mady after this, so we're gonna
Really?
get the tea. Yeah.
Yeah, get all the tea. We'll see how she's feeling over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Andy. You're awesome.
Yes, and
All
to
right,
anyone
guys.
watching this video, go give Andy a follow, like this video, and leave us some comments below. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.